I can do that, but I'm not very comfortable doing, oh, good God. Ugh. Now, playing somebody who keeps the ball in play all day long, moonballs me, and doesn't give me a whole lot of pace, I could just settle back in here and play from 18 feet behind the baseline. But who really wants to do that? In this video, I'm going to show you a few moves on how to beat what others call pusher. I like to call them the givers of no pace. Because if I call somebody a pusher, that's already really dismissive. And if I then end up losing to them, I'm going to put myself down even more. It's a tactical choice they're making. They're keeping the ball in play. And I have to find a way on how to beat them. What a lot of club players are trying to do when they play somebody who just doesn't miss, they're trying shots that they don't necessarily have. They're either hitting too hard, they're going for too much too soon in the rally, and that is super frustrating. So they end up beating themselves, which is exactly what the giver of no pace wants you to do. What the giver of no pace loves to do is hang out far behind the baseline. They're just digging in, they're going laterally, they're going right, left. What they don't like is to move up when it's not on their terms, and most all of them don't like to volley. So that is exactly what we're going to exploit. So when you're warming up, this is a dead giveaway that you can use those few moves, because the giver of no pace basically tells you that they don't like to volley. So this is what they do. Yeah, okay, I'm good, thank you. They basically just warm up their volleys because they heard that's something that you do. So we're trying to make use of the fact that the giver of no pace doesn't like to volley, doesn't like to come in when it's not on their terms. It may very well be that they're coming in every now and then, but it's kind of more like an alibi move. So number one, I can drop shot. Outright drop shot, which might be a little tougher when they're hitting deep balls and you're far back behind the baseline. I just recently posted a video. I'm going to just put it right here. You can check that out, working on that drop shot. But you're still making them move up. And this is where the two plays come in that I'm going to show you. Drop shot them, chip the ball, or just any short ball that they used to come in with. Don't panic. Because most likely, if they don't like to volley, they don't do it often, they may not split step at the right time. They may not be in the right position. They will not know really how to volley a tough ball. So the first move, and I'm actually gonna borrow that from pickleball. You're gonna dink the ball down to their feet. Almost anybody can stick out a racket, and a shoulder chest high volley will not be a problem. But if they have to move, if they have to lift up the ball to you, that's really when you see if somebody can volley or if somebody doesn't like to volley. And that is exactly what you're going to exploit. Dip the ball down to their feet or go right behind them. And that's called the Big Dipper. There's my dipper. So even if she gets that ball, then I have a clearer passing shot. That's to hide, bring her in with anything. Okay, that is an option. So I can bring her in with a chip, and then I either have the outright passing shot or I dip it to her feet. The second one might be a little bit of an unpopular move, but I do honestly have to say it works, and yeah, it's just something that you can do. When a player comes in who doesn't like to volley and you don't have a clear opening, go right at them. Right at them, of course, you're not going to go to the face, but you can go to the lower half or the half of their dominant hand, because volleying here, that takes A, a really good volleyer, and yeah, B, even if they get the ball back, it's going to be a really weak reply. So I'm actually really okay with that. I know it's not popular, but trying to have you win matches, not win the popularity contest. Both of those moves, you are not trying to outright pass. You make them hit a volley. So unless you have half of the court open, it's a two-ball play basically. So again, don't go for the outright pass, make them work for the point. By the way, all these moves, the Big Dipper, the Hulk Smash, the going right at somebody, and then also the Rip and Charge and Chip and Charge are coming straight from the Yellow Fuzzy Ball Singles Playbook. And those are not just the only moves how to beat a pusher. It's literally a playbook on how to beat every single play style that you can encounter in club tennis. So check it out. the singles playbook by Fuzzy Yellow Balls. I'm going to put the link down below. And now let's get back to beating the giver of no pace. The next opportunity you have to put pressure on your giver of no pace that you're playing is to exploit the fact that most likely their serves are not really that great. They're just a way to get the point started for them then to retreat behind the baseline, dig in, and just play defense and just being basically happy to sit back there and have you self-destruct. Here's what you want to do with the return. Drive that thing right at their shoelaces, right down the middle deep, because just like everybody else, the giver of no pace after the serve will land most likely in the court or around the service line. They have not had the time yet to move back. So if you drive that ball right at their shoelaces, maybe even preferable to the side where they have a bigger windup, and that might in many cases be the forehand, they will be forced to play a ball that they don't have time to play. Next option that you have instead of a rip and charge is the chip and charge. Classic move. What you're trying to do though is to not deliberately hit the ball deep. Usually we want our approach shots deep. What you're trying to do with the chip and charge is you're hitting the ball deliberately short and you want to draw them in. That is where you're making use of the fact that they're not really happy to move forward when it's not on their terms. They have to most likely lift the ball up, and that is where we have to pay attention to one other thing. Usually I want you to come in about 1 or 2 yards inside the service line for a good first volley position. Since the giver of no pace is very, very likely to actually try to bump a lob over you, in that case, it is okay if you're not closing in. So here is where you can hover, because also if they wanted to try to dip the ball into your feet, that takes a lot of skill, which is probably not something that the giver of no pace works on a whole lot. So you chip and charge, you make them come in, very likely they're going to lob you, so don't overclose on that one. Now if you want to learn also on how to take over the point with the serve against the giver of no pace, check out this video. Slice serve is fantastic against somebody who does not like to open the court.